God. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality. It cannot lead, it can only serve. Okay? And this is part of what Goleman tells you, which is that you have to have emotional intelligence. You have to be aware of your environment. Okay? You can't just be smart. Okay? Goleman says, no creature, you like that butterfly thing? No creature can fly with just one wing. Gifted leadership occurs where heart and head, feeling and thought meet. These are the two wings that allow a leader to soar. And that's what I want you to do. You have to use your head and use your heart. Okay? Okay, so this is part of Goleman, who says, emotional intelligence relates to leadership. What are your strengths and weaknesses, and how can you modify them? Okay, and that's part of what I want you to be doing over this course. We're going to skip very quickly through this. Goleman, because we'll get back to it, Goleman says that people have to have personal competence and social competence. They have to be self-aware, and they have to learn how to manage themselves. They need to be socially aware, okay? And you need to be good with social skills. You have to have relationship management. And this self-assessment form I'm going to send to you, it's already, I think, probably on Moodle. You have to rank where you are with this. What are your strengths? Are you good at self-awareness or bad at self-awareness? Are you good at social awareness or bad at social awareness? Okay? Right? Follow? And you're reading about it as well as you read Goleman. Okay.
Are we getting assessed by others too?
No. You're just going to do it yourself. For the purpose of this course, you do it yourself. Okay? There are places where people do assess each other in leadership. It's called the 360. Okay?
Yeah.
Phillips probably does it. You've seen it other places.
In the book, it describes.
Yeah. And it would be, we could, but I don't, there's only so much we can do. Okay? It's very valuable though. Okay? It's very valuable if you have the courage to hear what other people say about you. Okay? Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about Freud in another class, but today we're going to talk about a little bit about men and women in leadership. We've talked about this once, Barbara's talked about it, but I want to go over it with you again. Okay? To Freud, a leader is someone, we give him unconditional love. He is a father figure. He's wise, understanding, and protective. Okay? And who's this? Remember seeing this?
Godfather.
It's the Godfather, right? Marlon Brando in this case, right? And think of the word Godfather. God, Father. Father is a God. God is a father. That's the philosophy, that's the belief. And Freud says that's a natural, Freud says that's a natural view of the leader as a father. And we give him unconditional love. This is how Stalin was successful. This is how Hitler was successful.
No.
Okay? Now, what's the problem with this?
It's unconditional.
It's unconditional. That's correct. You don't challenge the leader. There's another problem.
Sexism.
Sexism. What happens if you're a woman? How can you be a father figure if you're a woman? Okay, this is a challenge that women face. If you believe that Freud is representing accurately. And yet, when you look a little more deeply at Freud, he says that women can be leaders, but they're not the same. The woman is a mother figure. She is protective, loving, and supportive, and controlling. She gives us unconditional love. We don't give her the unconditional love. Who's this?
Indira Gandhi.
Who is she?
The only female prime minister of India.
Hugely famous and successful, yes? And really respected, okay, right? But she loved her people because she was a woman. alright? She gave unconditional love. She didn't receive unconditional love. This is the argument, again, from Freud. Okay, the Freudian argument. So as a woman, you're being, whatever you want to be doesn't matter. When you're a leader, it's how you are viewed. Not how you want to be viewed, it is how you are viewed. Okay? And again, Barbara's coming back next Monday, and she'll talk to you more about some of this stuff. Okay? Right? So how do people perceive you?
Do you agree with what Freud?
I do.
Okay.
Personally, I do. Okay? And it's easier for men. I mean, the world is easier for men altogether, I would contend. Okay, fellas, I don't know if you agree with me. Okay, it's hard being a woman in many ways. Okay, having babies is tough. Okay, that's a whole separate thing, right? But being a woman in a man's world and how you present yourself as a leader is really complicated. Okay, because if you try to act like a man, you may be resented. Do you wear a dress or do you wear pants? Okay. If you look at the U.S. presidential election, Elizabeth Warren wore pants all the time. Amy Klobuchar wore a dress all the time, or a suit. Okay. How do you want to be perceived, and how does that work for you? Okay. My goal is for you to understand and make conscious decisions about this, so that you're aware when you say, how do they see me? Okay? And then you can act accordingly. Thoughts, comments from people? Anybody upset with this? You can be, right? Understanding this is the goal. Okay, let's keep going. We're skipping this. Okay. Now, one of the really important things that often gets ignored is describing the difference between a manager and a leader. Okay, you're going to get all these slides. A manager copes with complexity and executes the vision. A leader copes with change and creates the vision. Right? Let's just go over this again a little bit. So, the leader creates the vision, the manager carries out the vision.
Sometimes it's the same person.
Sometimes it's the same person. Now, are there jobs that are both leadership and management jobs?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Most jobs are both. Most leadership jobs do have a lot of managing. Does the President of the United States have management to do? Yeah. He's got people who work for him. He does a bad job as far as I'm concerned, but he does manage. He's supposed to be managing. He's a terrible manager. Okay, right? But he has management. The most powerful person in the world, most people would say, okay, the most important leader still has management that he has to do. Almost everyone in their job has management to do and leadership. Some people have leadership jobs. Okay? And the interesting and challenging thing is, if you're in the middle of an organization, so you have to execute somebody else's vision, but you can create a vision yourself that fits within the vision of the organization. If you create a vision that conflicts with the organization's vision, you're not going to last very long. Okay? So, most leadership jobs have a lot of management. My wife has had major leadership jobs in her career. Probably in a major leadership job, 25% of your time is leadership, and 75% is management. It's usually management. Okay? It's both, though. Okay? So, a manager copes with complexity, deals with the complexity, executes the vision. A leader copes with change and creates the vision. Okay, everybody with me? Okay. We're going to skip these because we're going to go over them in a few minutes. We're back to Goleman. He says, and we'll get to this again, that a good leader has these 6 styles of leadership. And a good leader knows when to use one versus the other versus the other. And if you're good at it, you learn how to do these things. Okay, so there's a time to be a visionary. And Martin Luther King, right?
Mhm.
I have a dream. There's a time to be a coach, to be a partner as a leader. Let's get through this together, okay? Right? If you look at what Elise was doing in helping me, that was really coaching. Except she was coaching me instead of me coaching her. But okay. Right? What's affiliative?
Partnerships?
Friendship. It's friendship. So sometimes as a leader, so that's kind of a partnership. Okay, you're affiliating. As a leader, you can be somebody's friend, but you have to be very careful with that. Yes? Okay, it's complex. Because they aren't really your friend. You're just being friendly. Right? So just as we're going to do this again, okay? Just as I threatened you before, hey, we can be friends, right? We can be, right? But we really aren't, and we both know that, right? I mean, not really, okay? And you get into trouble in a variety of ways. I mean, you can get into trouble if you try to be too much of a friend, okay? Right? Okay. Democratic. I'm sorry. Were you had a question? Okay. Democratic. As far as the leadership style, what does that mean?
When you ask the other ones to make a decision together.
Absolutely. You say, I don't really know what we should do. What should we do? Okay? And then we make a decision. So I am taking my power away, I'm giving it to you as a group. The big mistake, if I give you my power, I can't take it back. If I ask you to make a decision, I can't say, thank you, I'm not going to follow that decision. It's very dangerous in leadership to do that. Occasionally you have to, but then you shouldn't have asked. Okay. Now, there's a difference between making a decision and asking for input. So I can say to you all, okay, what do you think? I'm going to make the decision. And different cultures do this differently. So in the United States, we as a group will make a decision. In Israel, I ask for your input and I make the decision. Okay? In Japan, I don't ask your input, I just make the decision. Okay? Probably in China too. Okay? More so. The boss makes the decision. Less group decision making. Okay, pace setting. Pace setting, there are times when we say, okay, we will double our effort. We will produce 2 million masks a day, not 1 million masks a day. Okay? And so nobody's going home tonight. The factory is going to stay open because the world needs our masks. You can do that for a defined period of time. You can say to people, okay, nobody's going home, dinner is going to be here, but for how long can you do that? A day, a week, a month, whatever it is. Okay, so pace setting, you can push people, but it doesn't last long.
Is pace setting always that, or can it also be, well, we had a boss who said we need to have one release every year. It wasn't extraordinary, it wasn't like nobody goes home until, it was just like, this is the pace that we're gonna release products at one new time.
Or like
Yeah, I mean, that's, but for what you were doing, that may have required a lot of work to do what he was saying to you, not one every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's make it one a year and let's make it good. Doesn't have to be 1 week, can't be necessarily, okay?
Or is it more like setting up a time schedule and then making sure everyone follows that time?
It's more about pressuring
Okay.
than it is just, you can have a relaxed environment and say, we're gonna do this, this, and this in an organized way. Or you can say, we're gonna do it right now. So this is more about pressuring. That's what he means.
I understood in reading the book, like it was like setting a lot of goals and pressure all the workers or your employees to reach it and to make them like only think about that and all the efforts and all the works towards that goal, and doesn't matter how they feel or how they are
Yes,
the other goals they have, you have to push the goal of the company or whatever, and
Right.
force them only to be successful in that point.
Right, I think that's a very good description, Nicole, yeah. I mean, if you look at China right now with coronavirus, the leader Xi Jinping, he is saying, we're going to do this, and we're doing it. There's no arguing, and we've gotta get it done right now, okay? Right, and there's no opinions that are sought. Okay, finally, commanding, okay, and we'll get back to this with one more presentation. Commanding is my telling you what to do, okay? So that's it. I'm not asking for any input. I don't want your ideas. Do it, okay? Commanding works well in an emergency situation like the coronavirus, okay, where we have to do it right now. In clinical medicine, when somebody's heart stops beating, you just start working, and somebody says, do this, you do it. You don't ask. You don't say, well, I'm not sure that's a good idea. No, you do what you're told, okay? So commanding can be very effective in urgent situations. It's very bad on a long-term basis. If you have a boss who's always commanding, people get very bitter about it, okay? So again, you're gonna read this in Goldman, but I mean, this summarizes it. Very important. And so he contends that good leaders choose this different style depending on the circumstance. And bad leaders, you know, if there's a big crisis, you don't want to hear Martin Luther King. Okay, you want to hear John Wayne, right? It depends what the crisis is like. On the other hand, maybe you want to hear, we have nothing to fear but fear itself, right? Depends, right? Okay. We're going to skip this because we're going to get back to it. Okay, how do you develop as a leader? Introspection, which means understand yourself. I said this already, but I'm saying it again. This is what this course is about. You're going to hear me say it over and over again. Understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses. Okay? Is there one personality type that's better than others? No. Because your weaknesses are somebody else's strengths, your strengths are somebody else's weaknesses. Okay? And then, once you understand your strengths and weaknesses, make changes to yourself. Play your strengths. Use your strengths. Get help with your weaknesses. Okay? So, I don't know how many people, anybody know, well, how should I ask this question? Some people know things about the Bible, yes? What was the relationship between Moses and Aaron? Brothers. Okay? Right? What did Aaron do for Moses?
Speak for him.
Why?
Because Moses,
What's the Bible story? Go ahead.
he has a speech, he can't really speak well.
Right, he can't speak well. So here he's Moses. He's the big leader in history. I mean, is there a bigger leader than Moses? Okay, he's the big leader. He can't speak. Is that a weakness?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weakness. So what does he do? He gets somebody to speak for him. And in this case, it's his brother. Now, there's some question as to whether Aaron was really Moses' brother. Some of the scholars say, it's a good story. For our purposes of talking about this, let's believe that, okay? And it makes a very interesting leadership demonstration, doesn't it? Okay. Aaron does the speaking because it's his strength, and Moses doesn't have that strength and doesn't do it. Okay? And you'll see this in organizations somewhere, you know, the leader is very good. Again, Bloomberg is not a good speaker. What did he do? He got other people to speak for him. He made TV commercials. Okay. Okay. The final thing in developing as a leader, have a mentor. Okay? So at your stage of your careers, you should be finding people who you can turn to, and Barbara will talk to you about this again in the leadership seminar, who will help you, support you, be a role model for you, but also introduce you to other people and help you succeed with your career. So many people naturally have mentors. Interestingly enough, probably easier for men, but women need them too. And it's probably smart to be aware that you need a mentor. And so when someone is there, don't be hesitant. Relate to that person. Make them your mentor. Okay, if they'll accept you. Okay? It's,
I see that a lot of CEO today in many big companies are they have their personal coach, like
Yeah.
life coach or
Right.
motivators or something like
Right.
that, working side
With
by
them.
side with them.
okay? But for you, some boss who really relates well to you, let them be your mentor. Let them help you with recruiting. And be aware of that. I mean, usually it happens just naturally, and you don't even think about it. And you look back and say, oh, he was, I've had probably 2 or 3 mentors in my career, who I look back at over all those years. Not every boss, but some. Okay? And so be aware of that you need that, and they will help you. Okay? All right. Okay, so the argument is you are what you are, but you can make yourself a better leader. Right? Okay. Now, I have one more presentation we're going to do before we finish today. All right? And so I think we should probably take a 5-minute break again. All right? Are all of our connected people still connected?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to propose don't disconnect. Okay? If you have to go to the bathroom, don't lock the door. Or whatever, sorry. Whatever happened there, okay? So let's, literally 5 minutes, get up, stretch, and then let's get back and we'll do the last session, okay?
I apologize for
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, fine, yep.
It says the lead element is here with the third core, 6 right behind, supported by a column of heavy capital, 7 core altogether. First and 11th, above Tawny Town, it says the lead element is here with the third core, 6 right behind, supported by a column of heavy capital, 7 core altogether.
No, we won't be needing any guards.
Serious. What did I? I'm gonna
The element is here with the third core, 6 right behind,
be
supported by a column of heavy
green onion.
The element is here with
capacity full.
This is the lead element in here,
Is
third
there a-
core.
Is there a diaper table in your bathroom? In the men's bathroom? No. That's sexism.
One time I had to take my niece and I just sit her on my lap.
See, that's what I'm
I sat on
talking
the toilet,
about.
I was like,
The men's bathroom does not have a diaper table, but the women's bathroom does. Yeah. So
Here?
yeah.
So you changed your niece's nappy while you were on the toilet,
well, I wasn't using the toilet, but I had to go and sit on the toilet.
Somewhere.
so you
have
could
her
put
on
it
her
down.
lap, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so true.
The whole time I was like,
Lead element here, third core. Six
that same day
right
she puked on me too.
Supported by a column of pedal caps.
Okay.
Except for
Perfect. You know,
Deal.
Me jaw tasha.
睡觉，complete。
Oh, jaw.
你的交际。
I need to learn how to make
Deal.
what's that?
Dio?
Here is deal. DIL.
D-I?
T-I-L-L-O.
Alex, are they available all over Europe?
Oh, T-I-L-O-L-O.
Hmm.
I don't know what that is.
I know Germany and France, yes.
Greece?
Oh.
What, did you check on the website? Cause I haven't looked at it for a while.
Like pickle.
And they've been growing,
What do you use?
It's like a leaf.
Okay.
I'll check.
No, I was
Looks
just
like
reading about
a-
it, so
Imagine
I think it's more stuff like this.
that,
Do you know what
but
the beginning?
really, everything's really thin.
I had the version 1
Uh-huh. Is that the 3?
and the 2. No, it's not the 3. I'm curious about the 3.
Never had a
The whole
pickle.
point is to reuse, so I don't wanna buy the 3 until.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
until you
Yeah. So they had quite a few bugs with the 1 and even the 2.
No,
They
no,
got
I
fixed.
saw.
Yeah.
But you know, like
Okay.
small company, not
Yeah,
so
I
big
see it at
support
the
group.
stores,
Like,
markets.
Yeah, support small.
Okay,
So
anything else?
you know, some people
So-
lost enthusiasm.
Soy sauce.
Like I had one friend who was using it and then she like sort of gave up.
Yeah.
But I've had it for years
Just
and
So the bugs you can push through, you know.
I think so. I think it depends.
And what?
Anyone
needs to go to
supermarket
after
after
lunch?
something? I'm going to a non-kosher one. It's a bit further away.
Okay, thank you.
Garlic, green onion, dill, soy
Oh,
sauce,
okay.
flour, ginger.
I want to make some fried rice with shrimp.
That's good.
You can
Oh, yeah, you
before
not
help
kosher
you.
for sure.
He doesn't love me
I think
anymore.
the
What?
supermarket in Dania sells shrimp because
Really?
Ika's always
I'm
making
sure
shrimp food.
He
And
got
he
to meet
doesn't
with
venture
his
very far
friends.
at all.
Oh.
Off campus, as you said.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of a hard-headed person.
But I think that
Ah.
it's just a really cool thing. So
Yeah. No,
Yes, you can have me. I go to your apartment. Nothing in shop.
Anything else that we can
So-
do?
You need grocery?
Who's the coriander?
No, like, what else do you, what's on the
Mary
review
Geese
app?
has increased the French garrison in Scotland by 4,000 men,
Oh.
perhaps more.
I don't see.
Yeah, but there's no image.
Like sauce?
Anything,
I don't know if there's
salad
sides.
dish or sauce or,
Grace?
like if I was gonna make a meal,
We need to go to
I'm
a
just gonna make a
supermarket that's
dumpling.
not kosher.
No,
not today.
I'm saying like
thank you.
meal.
Just I think that's the only
Dumplings
place
with
where you
ketchup
can get.
or salad, anything. You don't have to make it.
Sesame
That's the main
oil.
Yeah,
dish.
sesame oil.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
And garlic. You make a dip sauce.
And what about
Mary Geese has increased the French garrison in Scotland by 4,000 men,
And you
perhaps more.
and just cook